folks. Yeah, wearing a little hat. Well, I still got the big jacket though. Spring has sprung, but in April, it's never. Usually it's never as good as what it should be. Today we're gonna do. It's a test. I was thinking, like the heat tubes that I built. I was thinking maybe my hole is too small, too big, so I'm getting too much flow, and by having too much flow, I'm not picking enough heat as I go up the tube. So what I did is I made one tube with a hole 1.25 inches, and then I made another tube with a hole 1 inch. 1.25 inches, I think it's 1 inch and 3/8 is what the hole is. And not 1.25 inches. And that's really the real test, but I'm not buying it. There's a little manometer. It measures the flow of air. It's got a little propeller. That's what I need. Then see the smaller hole, if it restricts the flow, then you would have less heat coming out of the tube than the one with the big hole. So it would have to be a cross-reference between the two. The one with the small hole, the amount of temperature, the temperature you reach at the top of the tube, versus the other tube, temperature and the amount of air coming out. And then you'd have to make a graph, and then you'd know. But my engineers here in the Gator Garage aren't that conclusive, but if somebody else has courage to do it, or if they have a I think it's manometer, I'm pretty sure, but anyways, I'm gonna take this here, I'm gonna go out there. I got the tubes that I made specific for this venture. So hang in there, I'll set you up outside. Hey, the sun's bright out here today. Okay, now, hang on. I'm going to have to give you this. I can't even see what's in the viewfinder, but I presume. Okay, well anyways, I'm going to see, you got two tubes. The one on the, okay, this one here has the big holes. And then the one on the right's got the smaller holes. And Fahrenheit, I'm measuring 35 degrees Fahrenheit on this one. And this one here, 50 degrees Fahrenheit. So the smaller holes got a higher temperature at the bottom. Okay, hang on. I don't know why that is, but now we're gonna go and measure. Where's my little dot? Oh, it's right there. Okay, so the small hole, we're at 72 degrees. And the other one, where is it? 80 degrees. 71 and 80. So you got a 10-degree difference between the two. I'll measure what's at the bottom here again. 60 and 55 and 60. See, so more restrictions, so the heat's backing up on the intake. So Yeah. So the conclusion here is the entry 8 hole is better for producing heat. You can feel the heat up at the top. Even on the cans up here, you can feel the heat. So, okay, hang in there. We'll reconvene inside. Okay, yeah. See, here, but it's upside down. I don't know, you guys can't read it. It's inch and well, I got inch and a quarter. It's 1 inch and 3/8, and this one here is 1 inch. So this is I think the bigger hole, inch and 3/8 hole with the hole saw in those cans is the most effective. But like I said, the more volume you have, see, you'd have to make like my window solar heater, which is right there. It throttles on and off with the thermostat. So that means that the little fan, I think the ideal way to produce heat with this would be to have a continuous flow, like the fan to be running, but then you'd have to put a variable speed on it. Hey, this would never end, eh? One way, if you had the solar system, maybe just by depending on the solar panel, by the amount of heat that the solar panel's producing, it would throttle the fan up and down. And that I just thought of that. That's another way to set it up. So you'd have a variable speed, but it would depend on the intensity of the sun, and then at the same time, the intensity of the sun would vary the amount of heat capture that you'd have in your popcan tube. So then maybe there'd be maybe some kind of adjustment to do. Huh? Can you hear it? It starts, eh? But it'll just run for a little while, and then it stops. So that means I'm getting too much flow from the fan, the computer fan that I got on that. But if the flow was lower, it would run at a slower speed. But see, it stopped. It would run at a slower speed, but would be pumping heat all the time. Things have changed in here, eh? Snowblower's gone, and well, see, we got, that's the battery that's going to the cottage. See, in the wintertime, that's the battery for the snowblower, and then the summertime, it's the pontoon battery. 800 amp cranking amp. It's I don't know. Anyways, it's spring has sprung, okay, and it's time to start thinking about going up to the camp, and I'll be going shortly there with my son, and I'm looking at the little mower. I don't know if I should tell you this. I did a little bit of a boo-boo. This is just, you guys have time for a little side note to this heat tube story. I put an inner tube. Well, you've already seen the videos on that, and it was for this Husqvarna riding mower, and put the wheel on, and I go in to start it and back it up from the garage on my wife's side of the garage, and so we're going to switch the snowblower to the lawnmower, eh? And didn't want to go, eh? I said, what's going on, eh? So there's a cap on the wheel. Hang on, I'll show you. And then you can believe me, eh, when I tell you the story. See in here? Right there. There's a cap. Well, I'll take that cap off. There's a C-clip that locks the wheel. And then, see, I even painted the rim. I ever do a good job when I put the inner tube on there, in there. Yeah, but there's a keyway with a, I think it's a 1/8 key. It's quite long. It's about that long, about 2 inches long. It goes between the axle and I'm laughing because I think I'm pretty funny. Yeah. Yeah, I put the wheel on. The key stayed on the ground. So I took the snowblower tractor, I put a chain on this thing, I pulled it out of there, says I'll bring it on this side and I'll figure out what, I thought it was the belt, eh? Hang on, I'll set you back up here. Yeah. Yeah, so I brought it on this side and then I parked the snowblower in its spot. I think no, I didn't take off the battery right away. But anyways, and so I brought it on this side. I started looking at it and wondering, and I look at the belt underneath, and the belt's working all right. Then I think of it, I said, I bet you I forgot to put the key. So I didn't even bother taking the cap off. I just go and check on the other side, and lo and behold, I see the keys on the ground. It's rusted, because it spent the winter sitting there on the cement. So I took it, I brought it on this side, I sanded it down and just stuck it in there. I put the washer, the C-clip, and I didn't even take the wheel off. I just took the paraphernalia off and boom. And then after that, away she goes. So I went back on the other side. I took the battery off the snowblower. I put it on the riding mower, and the next venture is I'm gonna take that battery, stick it in the truck. So it's gonna be part of the stuff that we're taking up to the camp the next time we're going up there. So that's it, folks. Conclusively. Start it up again. Conclusively, you need bigger holes, not the small. Don't reduce. 1-inch holes is not big enough. You need at least 1.25 inches. Those holes that I made are 1.5 inches. And if you had a manometer, if you bought one, you could do more tests. But that's as much as we're getting out of it. I'm going to keep that though, because if I'm going to see if I can rustle up a manometer, then we could, as the time progresses, maybe like more worthwhile to do tests and specifically know what we're dealing with. But anyways, it's just to give an idea. This is just like some people were interested, maybe Steve Robb, maybe Grampy's Workshop. They were interested in making some heat tubes. Well, if you're gonna make them, go with the bigger 1.3/8 or 1.25 inch size hole. Don't 1 inch is not big enough. You want to get more flow, and as you get more flow, I guess you capture more heat. That's that's our extent of engineering here in the Gator Garage. Okay, folks, I hope these jewels of knowledge have been precious to you. And don't stop watching, because that's what keeps me in here. Comments are welcome. I salute you all, and we'll see you in the next one.